Are you ready?
Yep.
Let's do it.
Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores brings you Garage Logic Podcast number 980, December 14th, 2022. 55 degrees was the record high. That was in 1998, and it was 27 below on this day in 1901.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and of course, the Rookie. Here is your Flashlight King, Fireworks Commissioner, and the Keeper of Common Sense, your mayor,
At the gate,
Joe Souchere.
it said that plane was destined for the North Pole. Are you serious? Is that where it went?
Flight 1224.
What are you talking about?
I loved Matt. One of the guys in that clip, it was on Channel 9 this morning, had to come from my hometown. Because these boys here ain't never been on a plane before, and I don't know if they're ever going to get on one.
He had the two
I'm like,
boys.
I know you, right?
It was a sweet thing. No, it was a passenger.
No, but Matt was featured, and you could hear his voice
Do you
making
have a speaking
announcements.
role? Do you have a speaking role?
No, I just had to tell them how it was going to go down.
Yeah.
And the kids were wonderful, Make-A-Wish kids.
I did notice you were wearing your Christmas-themed sport coat.
Yeah.
Matthew, one gal's daughter though was questioning the whole thing. Though you could tell she was a smart kid, and she's like, wait a minute.
So tell me this.
You need to be like my kids. If you think there's something going on, don't mess with Santa. Just keep it going.
Yeah.
Keep the good thing going.
Yep.
Well, and there's the old line about the optimist and the pessimist.
That's it.
One kid, that both kids wake up on Christmas morning, and there's a bag of horse poop under the tree.
Okay.
And the pessimist says, that figures. All I get is some lousy horse poop. And the optimist says, where there's this much poop, there's got to be a pony.
All right. Take it.
We were lamenting the absence of Christmas lights downtown. We weren't even lamenting their absence necessarily. We were pointing out that it was typical of the current agendas that there wouldn't be Christmas lights downtown. Well, I'm happy to report I got a number of indications from emailers. Milwaukee lights them up still.
Nice.
Bozeman, Montana lights it up. Stillwater lights it up. I bet there's some cities that still do it, huh?
Well, there must be.
Well, there obviously are. Milwaukee
But Milwaukee's
and Bozeman.
big, though.
Milwaukee's got tall buildings. I think Matura told me the tallest building in Bozeman's, I don't know, I can't remember what he said.
You know what's
42
neat?
stories?
And I don't know if you guys have been down this way. On 169 south of Belle Plaine, where Cambria is located, their headquarters.
Yep.
The massive Cambria building.
Yeah.
They must have someone come out and decorate that entire building because it's all lit up. It's really cool looking.
Davis family can foot the bill on that.
Yeah, it's really neat.
Let's revisit the mural of police hatred in the principal hallway of Brooklyn. Is it Brooklyn Center?
Brooklyn Center High School.
Brooklyn
yep.
Center High School, where there are profane comments on the police, and the failed academy's excuse is the kids needed to express this to help their healing process, which is BS, help their healing process following the accidental shooting of Dante Wright. And Kelsey has a notice, has a question for the people of the Brooklyn Center High School, the people who run it. They allowed the mural to help the students deal with their grief over the shooting of Dante Wright. Do they also have a mural next to that one dedicated to the idea of dealing with their grief over the shooting of Caleb Livingston at the hands of Dante Wright?
Great question.
He died in October of this year from injuries sustained 3 years earlier as a result of being shot in the head by his boyhood friend, Wright, at a gas station. This never gets mentioned by the local media. So you made the call, and
Yep.
you're waiting for a response.
I'm waiting for an email, which I'm checking right now, or a voicemail.
You had two questions for them.
Yes.
One, is the mural still up? Are you getting any pushback? And two, do you, in fact, have a mural up of Caleb Livingston? Well, you know damn well they don't.
Right. We know that already. But
Now, this could be a watershed moment.
That's a great question, by the way.
in the 980 shows of Garage Logic, one of our most loyal listeners, and always been a wonderful emailer over the years, Tom Bonnet, has a great point to make, and I think we can resolve it. Joe, on Tuesday's podcast, you discussed a profane anti-police mural proudly displaced at a Brooklyn Center high school. The discussion was a great example of why I find it increasingly difficult to listen to your podcast and other conservative-leaning shows. This isn't an indictment of you and the boys. On the contrary, I've been a dedicated listener since nearly day one of the radio show, and your voice has become as ubiquitous in my life as Rush Limbaugh's was for decades. But your discussion of the mural simply hammered home how nonstop grumbling with like-minded GLers at the Knack Hardware and Lounge solves nothing. You and other conservative commentators do a great job chronicling America's decline, but as illustrated by the mural story and countless others, progressives continue full steam ahead despite our protests, ramrodding their agendas down our throats and rolling their eyes at old white guys who vainly fight to preserve outdated notions of decorum and tradition. Lately, it's dawned on me that there are specific demographics that must fight specific battles. For instance, I firmly believe that the fight against the trans movement is a woman's battle, since the phenomena of men commandeering womanhood hurts no one more than women. I'll gladly stand alongside thousands of women at a rally where they reclaim womanhood for women. But women need to organize it and speak the loudest. Similarly, it does no good for a bunch of middle-aged white guys to grumble about an obscene anti-cop mural on proud display at what I presume to be a majority black high school in Brooklyn Center. Parents need to get outraged and organize against this, and fast. If I learn of a group of parents organizing an effort to descend upon the school with paint, brushes, and tarps with the goal of covering the mural in 10 minutes flat, I'll be there, consequences be damned. But this is their fight. This profane, irresponsible adolescent mural hurts no one more than the black kids progressives claim to care about more than anyone, even as their efforts decimate the black community. If blacks aren't outraged, I'm done getting outraged on their behalf. As I write this, it strikes me that the progressives are basically abusive spouses, hurting those they claim to love because it's for your own good. As with any abusive relationship, at some point it becomes incumbent on the person being abused to declare independence. Only then can people watching helplessly from the sidelines provide them with the support they need. It's like the old saying related to alcoholism. The first step is admitting you have a problem. Until that happens, you're tilting at windmills. Please let your listeners know if you hear of an effort to cover this obscene mural, and GLers will be there in huge numbers, paintbrushes in hand. But it would be fruitless for us to organize such an effort, because if we did, we'd be labeled hateful old white guys, exercising our privilege by foisting Eurocentric views on an oppressed population. To paraphrase Matthew 10:14, the time has come to shake the dust from our feet and walk away from people who refuse to hear reason. Good luck, Tom from St. Paul. Well, he couldn't be more correct. It's our job to do a podcast. I'm not sure, and I think it also is our job to find solutions where we can, but I think he's absolutely right. I've been telling black parents for 15 years, stop telling the left to do your kid a favor. Stop telling them you don't want them to do your kid a favor. They are making your children less than. Less than. And Bonnet's completely correct. Who's going to listen to me? But you're the parent. Right. But you're the parent of a child at Brooklyn Center, and you get wind of this. Do something about it.
Okay, first, give me the name of our gal in Roseville, the badass gal in Roseville.
Coffee Motska.
So Coffee Mosca brings this to light, and they do the same thing to her that they do to us, completely ignore her.
Right.
And she actually is that person they should be respecting.
I got a note from the Gumption County deputy. Last Friday, you discussed the officer-involved shooting in St. Paul. Whenever one of these incidents occur, I find myself thinking, what wrongs will they accuse the officer of? Sadly, the criminals are never held responsible for any of their actions. He's getting to Brooklyn Center. The agenda constantly pushed is, for no reason at all, the police shot an innocent black man. It is beyond outrageous that we live in a time that a person armed with a gun attempting to commit a carjacking and then shooting at the cops is instantly portrayed as a victim. I can never grasp people's reasoning. Yes, I certainly can understand and empathize with the family having questions and concerns they would and should as their son, brother, father, uncle has died. But when the explanations are provided and saddened by the events that result in the death of our family member, obviously he made some terrible decisions, which led to the tragedy for all involved. The officers were placed in an unimaginable situation as we understand why they had to protect not only themselves but the public at large. I skipped a sentence. But when explanations are provided and evidence produced, the predictable reaction is to reject the facts. Whenever we have heard someone say we are saddened by the events that resulted in the death of our family member, obviously he made some terrible decisions. The mural you described at Brooklyn Center High School really ties in with the immediate damnation of the cops following officer-involved shootings. That mural is beyond disrespectful and hateful. Depicting cops as subhuman is disturbing. Cops are not perfect, but 99% of them are busting their tails every day to do the right thing and protect everyone in the communities they work in. Yet the message from the left, and clearly depicted by that mural, is cops are not deserving of respect or even basic human decency. So naturally, anything done by someone viewed as detestable is automatically problematic, no matter the circumstances. What I find interesting is the people who hold the Brooklyn Center mural up as virtuous are the same ones to complain about displays of the American flag and Christmas trees. We are not in a good place as a country, that's for sure. In closing, I want to wish all the GL crew a safe and Merry Christmas. Signed, the Gumption County Deputy. Unless people wake up and it's the same. I don't care if you're talking about a mural or taxation you find unreasonable or wokeness in the school system. This podcast cannot solve it.
Right. They got to wake up.
This podcast is preaching to an ever increasingly large choir. When is the choir going to take action?
They're not.
I got a great...
So maybe we're just, hopefully, helping to motivate people.
We're messengers.
Hopefully.
We're messengers. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I do want to say something about what's happening in education. And I believe one of the reasons, maybe the principal reason, it has truly, truly failed. In Brooklyn Center, my God, we have to have GLers in Brooklyn Center.
You would think.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to do anything about this?
But doesn't it feel like a task?
This isn't a free speech issue.
No, I know, but you almost feel helpless and hopeless because no matter what, no matter your intentions, you know nothing's going to happen. No one's going to listen to you. You're going to be shouted down.
No, I disagree. I believe that if a significant number of actual Brooklyn Center High School parents took action, something would be accomplished. Nothing's going to be accomplished by me complaining about it.
But you saw this firsthand a few weeks ago when you attended that meeting.
What are the demographics of that school?
I would think that Brooklyn Center has become probably a pretty much of a black high school.
It's
I
an
don't
extension
know.
of Minneapolis,
Yeah, it's just
essentially.
North Minneapolis.
So you telling me we don't have any black cops up there that have kids in that school? I find that hard to believe.
How about black GL parents?
Probably one and the same.
This is from an emailer alerted me to this, and then I went and found the piece. Larry Arnn is the president of Hillsdale College. Hillsdale College, I believe it's in Michigan, gets quite a bit of pub. I'm sorry. At a Hillsdale College. Oh, he gave these remarks in Santa Clara, California, but I believe Hillsdale College is in Michigan. And I don't care what you think of Hillsdale College, euphorians would turn their back on it because it still teaches the basics. It has a conservative strain running through it. But if you're able to, from Liberal Lakes, Euphoria, and Diversityville, to set that aside, just listen to these statistics. If you want to see the problem with American education, look at a chart illustrating the comparative growth in the number of students, teachers, and district administrators in our public schools in the period 2000 to 2019. He provides a chart. The number of district administrators grew by 87.6% during these years, outstripping the growth in the number of students, 7.6%, and teachers, 8.7%. There's your problem. Every one of those administrators is a product with a made-up degree from the failed academy. Those are my words, not his. In illustrating the difference in these rates of growth, the chart also illustrates a fundamental change that has come over our nation as a whole during this period, a change in how we govern ourselves and how we live. To say a change is fundamental means that it concerns the foundation of things. If the foundation changes, then the things built on it are changed. Education is fundamental, and it has changed radically, and this has changed everything else. Boy, this guy I either didn't know I was listening to him or he's listening to us. One of the ways of describing the change in education today is that it provides a different answer than we have ever known to the question, who owns American children? Of course, no one actually owns the children. They are human beings. Insofar as they are owned, they own themselves. But by nature, they require a long time to grow, much longer than most creatures, and someone must act on their behalf until they mature. Who is to do that? Not many people raise this question explicitly, but implicitly it is everywhere. For example, it is contained in the question, who gets to decide what children learn? It is contained more catastrophically in the question, who decides what we tell children about sex? Are these decisions the province of professional educators who claim to be experts, or are they the province of parents who rely on common sense and love to guide them? In other words, is the title to govern children established by expertise or by nature as exhibited in parenthood? The first is available to a professionally educated few. The second is available to any human being who will take the trouble. This is an 11-page piece. I'm not going to continue to read it. I urge GLers to read it. And I didn't have to get much farther than realizing that in 10 years, in the 2000, from 2000 to 2019, school district administrators, the ones who authorize a mural at Brooklyn Center High School, grew by almost 88%.
Oh,
Wow.
Teachers grew by 8.7%, while students in the same time period grew in numbers by 7.6%.
Well,
You'll note yesterday when we were talking about the basketball coach at Eden Prairie that the public comment, which was meaningless and empty because it didn't contain any information, came from Eden Prairie's assistant director of marketing and communication.
Yep.
Yeah, I did notice
Well,
that.
if he's an assistant director of marketing, that means there's a director of marketing.
correct. Yeah, you got it.
Why in God's name does a school need a director of marketing? A Catholic school might, a private school might. They want to market it to people. But what is a public school doing with a director of marketing? That's a very small example, I think, of what this guy's talking about, and that is the number of administrators from 2000 to 2019, and you are paying for all of this, has risen by 87.6%.
Unreal.
There's your problem. And these are invariably, and I'm very comfortable saying this, miserably failed people. Miserably failed products of the miserably failed academy.
But not to mention,
They have degrees in equity building and inclusivity. They have degrees that can't be measured for success or achievement. They are nothing.
yeah, but The assistant director of marketing?
Yeah.
That story is huge. Where's the director?
No, I'll take it even further, Matthew. I don't want to hear from anybody in marketing. If you're in marketing, that means you can work for a school, boat manufacturer, the convention. You're a marketing guy. I want to hear from one of the people in charge of the school. The marketing guy's got to tell me about the upcoming game, homecoming, why you should
Meat
bring
raffle.
your kid to this school. A marketing bleep,
And you know
not
what's-
stuff like this.
And you know what's happened? Between 2000 and 2019, the number of district administrators grew by almost 88%. And among that growth are the numbers of people put in place to give you the runaround.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
According to the
That's exactly what we got from that guy in Eden Prairie.
The 2000 census, this is Brooklyn Center. The city's racial makeup was 71% white, 14% African American. Okay, those are the two majors. In 2010, it was 49% white, 25% African American. So it doubled in size for African Americans and reduced by 20% for the Caucasians that left. I don't have 2020.
And Brooklyn Center parents, this is your problem. And if you don't think it's a problem, we are doomed. It's as simple as that.
But I think it's all parents' problem, Joe, because Brooklyn Center doing this and getting away with it just will, in my mind, lead to more schools doing this and getting away with it. Oh, they did it in Brooklyn Center. It's going to work great here in Shoreview or Mason City, Iowa, or wherever.
That's what Bonnet is saying in this email.
Yep.
That's
yep.
exactly what he's saying in this email. The progressives pay no attention to us.
No.
They will begin to pay attention, I guess, if their paycheck was threatened.
But that's not going to happen because they don't answer to anybody.
I have the EcoFund Motorsports update for December.
Okay. It's about
All
time.
electric bikes, it's coming for Christmas. All electric bikes, $200 off. All scooters, $100 to $500 off. This is the winter sale plus free heated storage if needed. These are the lowest prices since before the dreadful Corvid. Over 100 youth ATVs and dirt bikes in stock, ready to stick in the house right under the tree. Then the kid comes down and he goes, "What the hell? Boom, this is a boom." Free storage until Christmas on all youth products. When you pay it up, they hang on to it for you, and you pick it up just in time. The Rover 4C 200cc electronic fuel injected golf carts are $1,000 off. 4x4 full-size ATV with 2,000-pound winch and a steel snow blade, $58.99. That price continues to just impress. I thought it would be way more than that. 0% interest financing for 1 year on all products in stock. They have helmets, they have apparel, they have service. They're great people. They've been with us since the beginning. EcoFund Motorsports now with 2 stores. The brand new store that opened this summer in Forest Lake, immediately west of 35E on Highway 97. The exit's right there. It's a bang, bang, boom. You get up to the top there and take a left. You go down about 2 blocks, it's staring you in the face. And then in Burnsville, store opened this summer on
right next to Music Go Round.
Okay, it's on the Service Road of Life near 35W. It's ecofundmotorsports.com.
We got a great email from Charlie saying, "Joe, after hearing about the slush buster, I was immediately intrigued as I am one of those guys that try to clear my car in the street before pulling it into the garage. I now have the correct tool to make the job a lot easier. I also purchased one for my father-in-law for Christmas, making me the best son-in-law in the world. While I could have purchased it on Amazon, I tracked north to Fratelloni's to make my purchase. Where there, I stocked up on seafoam of what... Well, I don't give a damn about seafoam. That's Kenny's deal, not mine.
This guy's covering all the clients.
He really is. Rookie, you're going to need this email next for tomorrow. Anyway, the slush buster, I have it on good authority. Speaking of Fratelloni's, by the way.
Yeah.
Mike's advice on the slush buster, best of luck.
Really?
going into one of his stores for finding one. But they did get a new shipment into all of their stores, all 21 locations for Frattallone's. And it is a perfect gift for the car lover in your life. And it was invented by a GLer, Dave Pounds, right here in Burnsville, Minnesota. He got tired of the slush that was rusting the cars and damaging his garage floor. So he came up with this, and it's fantastic. It's designed and assembled in Rogers, Minnesota, and it's the only device in the market specially designed to remove the slush. It's also going to reduce the ice formations that can cause slips and falls that can injure you and your family. So stop into Frattallone's. Hopefully they have them in stock, and I think that they will. Or you can also make your purchase online at slushbuster.us. That's slushbuster.us. Also, Wellna Ace Hardware in Robbinsdale, Minnesota also carries the Slush Buster. So stop in, get your Slush Buster. Tell the folks at Frattallone's you heard about it here on the GL Podcast.
Why won't this play?
I don't know.
Let's hear it.
Christopher Cross on Garage
not
Logic
playing.
Podcast.
Here, let me...
Here's
Hit
a
it
man
hard.
who
There we
spends
go.
hours in hardware stores, sifting through the
got her?
nuts and bolts of life. Joe
What'd you do?
Double click.
Oh.
You win some, you win some. A guy I know, he won big time over the weekend when the guy fired up 4 snowmobiles that were put to bed properly last spring, meaning the guy didn't bother doing anything. He didn't drain the tanks, none of that nonsense. He just added seafoam and shut them down. And last weekend, they jumped to life and ran happy. That's a Seafoam double victory. Seafoam lets us live our best life, keeping the cylinders happy and keeping us happy. It's available all over. You'll find it everywhere fine chemicals are sold. A local company with a global reach and a true miracle in a world of bad gas. Seafoam.
A Minnesota science teacher in the St. Paul public school system
Okay.
lambasted cell biology lessons,
Oh, boy.
particularly on mitochondrion, for containing capitalist propaganda.
Dear God.
Mandy Jung, a teacher at Highland Park Middle School
Oh.
in St. Paul, Minnesota,
I know where
It's in the
that is.
hood, baby.
Yeah.
said lately there has been a lot of conversation about teachers indoctrinating students in their beliefs or to their beliefs. And I always find this funny because our children are seeped in capitalist indoctrination from the second they are born. And she's teaching your kids at Highland Junior High School. And she's getting paid basically because it's a capitalist system. Maybe she'd be preferred to be paid by the state. Well, she is, isn't she? But that's your money.
Mm-hmm.
Jung proceeded to provide the perfect example of how capitalist indoctrination is expressed in her 7th grade science classes. 7th grade science is the year that you learn that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell in all of this cell biology. So at the end of the unit, I have students take a test. And one of the questions is, a person says the nucleus is the most important organelle in the cell. Do you agree or disagree, and why?
I would have said it. I agree. Isn't the nucleus the center?
The Minnesota teacher previously revealed that she used a survey that allows students to conceal gender identity in her classroom. Okay. These are all resources that I use or have used at the beginning of the school year. Please enjoy, the middle school teacher said. The questions ask students about their preferred pronouns and names. Oh, I'm sorry. I jumped ahead. I'm sorry.
That's a cut line.
Yeah. No. Do you agree or disagree, and why? And almost every child says, yes, I agree, because without a boss, the cell would be in total chaos. Jung added that the student's response cracks me up and went on to claim microscopic bacteria were the original anarchists. Bacteria don't have a nucleus, and they are arguably one of the most successful classes of organisms on the planet. Bacteria out here being the original anarchists, right? No nucleus, no master, sees the means of metabolism. I don't know. It's funny to me, she said. Funny how?
How? Like a
How?
clown?
You think that's
Like
funny?
a nucleus?
Yeah. Jung frequently posts anti-capitalist views on her social media platforms. For example, she shared on Twitter, "You are not a capitalist. You are an exploited worker with Stockholm Syndrome." In another case, Jung recommended a teacher use what appeared to be a Marxist political cartoon about capitalism. The poster said, "Capitalism, we rule you, we fool you, we shoot at you, we eat for you."
What?
Except
the hell?
Jung, it's never worked anywhere. I wonder how you reconcile that. The Minneapolis teacher, well, that's Fox News National. They got it wrong. It's St. Paul. The St. Paul teacher previously revealed that she used a survey that allows students to conceal a gender identity change in her classroom. These are all resources that I use or have used at the beginning of the school year. Please enjoy, she said. The questions ask students about their preferred pronouns and names and whether those can be used when speaking directly with a student's parents. It'll also ask them about who they do not get along with in the classroom. Some of the questions included, what name should I use when speaking to your parents? What pronoun should we use when we talk about you? Choose as many as you want. Is it okay to use the pronouns you selected above when we talk to your parents?
Wow.
Is it okay to use the pronouns you selected above when we talk to other students in the class? A spokesperson for the district referred to existing policy when Fox News Digital asked for comment, which said, respect all students' gender identity and gender expression by honoring the right of students to be identified and addressed by their preferred name and pronoun.
So sick of this pronoun
That we
thing.
live in a country where schools are actively pushing kids to change their gender and hide it from their parents is something I never thought I would face as a parent, Kimberly S. Herman from the Southeastern Legal Foundation told Fox News. She added the surveys administered without parental consent may violate federal law. Surveys like this only violate the law, but they are aimed at separating children from their parents. Parents must know that when schools ask children about their emotional health, sexual identity, and family relationships without parents' consent, they violate federal law, she said. All right.
Yeah, she's right.
Okay, here's what I want to know. How did Fox get attention of this?
Probably an angry parent. It sounds like an angry parent. She's a science teacher, correct?
Yes.
Yep, 7th grade.
She has
Is
no
this
business.
Fox News or Fox 9?
She has
Fox
no.
local, or no, not local. It's Fox
National.
News.
Okay.
How did Fox News nationally get wind of a 7th grade science teacher in St. Paul, Minnesota, who is teaching that cell biology is emblematic of capitalism? How did they come across that? And now that it's out there, do you think it concerns any parent of a Highland Park middle school student?
It would me.
Do you think it concerns any parent of a Highland Park middle school student that this crackpot is giving them surveys about what to call them and how secretive she might or might not have to be when talking to the parent?
In a science class. And what she's doing, her ridiculous analogy, she's trying to replace what she calls capitalist propaganda, which it's not, with wokeism propaganda. And none of it has anything to do with science. Science is science. That's how it works. It's funny how the people, oh God.
She sounds
so
like
angry.
she sounds like she might have the capacity to be a really interesting teacher.
But not a science teacher.
Well, I mean, she has the capacity to put this in words that kids understand. You know, hey, these rogue deals here, they're the original anarchists. You know, she gets them to understand the construction of a cell.
But is she furthering their education?
No,
Is
no.
she preparing them for college and then a life in medicine?
No, she's
Or even
stunting
high
their
school.
She's stunting their growth. She's stunting
Exactly.
their learning.
Exactly. And
Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell and the cell biology. So at the end of the unit, I have students take a test. And one of the questions is, a person says the nucleus is the most important organelle in the cell. Do you agree or disagree? And then that gives her, apparently she's terribly amused by their answers because she's going to tell you what the answer is. And she said almost every child says, yes, the nucleus is the center of the cell. And because the teachers say without a boss, the cell would be in total chaos. Well, Jung added, the students' responses crack me up because you got to get humor somewhere when you're a 7th grade science teacher. And went on to claim that microscopic bacteria were the original anarchists. Bacteria don't have a nucleus, and they are arguably one of the most successful classes of organisms on the planet. Bacteria out here being the original anarchists, right? No nucleus, no master, seize the means of metabolism. I don't know. It's funny to me, she said. Okay.
So she's with my.
Now here's something else.
Wait. So she's teaching them the value and the how awesome anarchy is? Is that what I'm getting?
Seems to be part of it.
Yeah.
Fox News Digital asked the St. Paul Public School District whether Jung's commentary is part of its curriculum. And they sent over a science unit used in the district. The district did not answer the question.
No.
Weird.
Good.
Because you've had an 87% increase in administrators between 2000 and 2019, most of whom are in place to help the administration avoid being accountable to anybody.
Well, I think what's
Yeah, but they
clear
got a lot
here
on
is
their mind.
Highland Park clearly needs a marketing director.
Well, they probably got one.
And an assistant.
an assistant.
Right.
Yeah.
How many kids do we have listening now? About 4, maybe 6?
Maybe 4.
Yeah, okay. You 4 kids that are listening right now, if any adult in your life tells you, don't tell your parents, the first thing you need to do is tell your parents. Unless,
immediately.
one caveat, unless it's your uncle and he
Yes.
just let you drive the truck down the gravel road and you're only 12, then definitely don't tell your parents.
She also apparently shows her class a pyramid of capitalist system, a 1911 American cartoon caricature critical of capitalism. Okay, honey, but you have to explain to me, Marxism hasn't worked anywhere. The people trying to get into this country are not trying to get into Venezuela, and they're not trying to get into Cuba. They're trying to leave Venezuela and Cuba. So could you please tell me where in history this worked?
Right.
It hasn't. It doesn't. It
Well,
can't.
it works for those in charge. It just doesn't work for the
Temporarily.
rest of us.
And she's pictured here. She's very forthcoming in her Twitter posts, I guess. Now, Bonnet's email. What are we to do? What are we to do about this?
Read it on the show.
I think we just did it.
I guess I'm doing what I can do.
And I'm not ripping Tom. I'm just saying.
No, and he's not ripping us.
no.
He's
Yeah.
got a great point. What the hell are we supposed to do?
Well, stay vigilant. That's all I can do. I have 2 children. Rook has
Okay.
4. That's what we're supposed to do.
And I got lucky because
I'll
the
say.
kids I used to have never endured any of this.
Right.
And they're all highly successful.
That you're aware of. There might have been something small that they probably handled on their own.
But they
back.
handled it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, we all, Joe, you must have had teachers. I did. I was in college at the height of liberals, I mean, who were, you knew.
Is
were
that what
more,
happened, John?
More liberal than, well, we all were. We listened to everything and then we figure out what we want to figure out.
Mhm.
That's the way that's what happened to me in college anyway. It wasn't.
Here,
So much
that's interesting. Here's what I remember.
Mhm.
I remember that it was the students when I was in college who were attempting to enforce liberalism on the teachers.
Okay.
That's what I
and
It
there's
was
remember.
turned around?
Certainly some of that
It was
when I was there
flip-flop?
too.
Because I never suffered a teacher attempting to indoctrinate me about anything.
Is that
No,
bad?
I don't think indoctrination here.
But
That's
she
not what I
is,
mean.
John.
I just
but
mean
this science teacher
she is. You're right. But
Yeah.
we all, you and I certainly had.
I never had a class where I felt that I was attempting to be steered towards a certain way of thinking.
Because that was back when you were a Nixon ripping lefty.
Yeah, but neither
Thank you, Chris.
neither did
It
I
looked like Neil Young.
Right.
in the 70s and early 80s. Neither did I.
Yeah. If anything, as I say, the movement came from without. The late '60s hippieism came from without. It did not come from within the classroom.
Really, I'm at Bismarck Junior College.
But you're years after me now.
Well, but this was 1977, 78.
I was long out of school by then.
All right. Yeah, maybe you're just old.
Christ,
No, wait, that's not what I meant.
You are.
All's I got.
Sorry, Joe. That was a cheap shot.
I mean, you know, the
Yeah.
idea of a protest at St. Thomas was somebody lit a votive candle and played a Neil Young album. You know, there wasn't.
This
Oh man, take a look
Look
at
at my life, I'm a lot like you.
Oh, sorry. This woman has been in the news before, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, would you share
Now I
that
want to
with
play.
us?
Now I just want to sit and play old man.
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
song?
she was back in February or June. I'm sorry, of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Alpha News.
All right.
School St. Paul School District defense teacher who posts TikToks about gay fetishes and anarchy. And it is this teacher, seventh grade science teacher, Mandy Jung, posts frequently on TikTok, gathered over 1 million likes. Many of her posts center around leftist ideology and non-traditional sexualities. One video, she tells her followers about a time she brought her relatively more conservative parents to a gay pride parade, after which she had to explain leather daddies to her father.
You'd have to explain it to me.
Wow.
Well, leather daddies, Joe, are gay men who
Oh.
fetishize leather clothing and sadistic sexual practices.
I'll be damned.
And then on and on and on. The
There's a
story
lot
goes on.
going on out there.
Joe, you know what a bear is?
And,
Yeah. They're in the woods and they're
Yep.
mean.
hey, Yogi.
Hey, Yogi. Well, here, John,
Yes.
I don't
yeah,
care about her sexuality.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn what she does or believes in or what have you. But what's happening in the country is it's being forced on the children.
Yes, I understand.
And again, the percentage of the population that are changing or whatever is minute.
It's infinitesimal,
Right.
but they control. They
get-
have more
they get the
control.
squeaky wheel.
Let me ask a devil's advocate question.
Mm-hmm.
We want the parents to take more part in this, fighting back. What if the parents say 50% of them are on the side of everything that's going on?
They
And
are
I
a
don't
lot
know.
are.
I don't know if it's 50%. I have no
I don't
idea.
even. I don't
I
even
think
think
you
it's a
have a-
devil's advocate question. I think you're probably.
Yeah, I think
onto
that's
something.
great.
Yeah.
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 And so, of course, we don't get any kind of fight back like the mural, that kind of thing, because the parents perhaps agree with what's on the mural.
Ooh.
And same with some of this other stuff you're just talking about with Mandy here. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out.
The
there.
worst thing a teacher ever said to me was, "Does this smell like chloroform?"
Yep.
Jeez.
I'm kidding.
I hope so.
I don't get it.
We'll explain it off the.
Yeah, never mind.
We'll show you after the show.
Was it in a biology class? Science
Yeah.
class?
Yep.
Yeah, Such, it was.
Yeah, you
in the
idiots.
back of a
I know
home
what
ec.
you mean.
in the back
you
of
fool.
a van in
It
the
was
parking
home ec.
lot.
Yeah.
Also, she's been in the news earlier than this about the survey you talked about. I wonder if that's how perhaps Fox News
Maybe.
got a hold of her, because about 2 weeks ago, it looks like the Daily Mail wrote a story about her survey. So
Huh.
I don't know. I'm just saying maybe.
I
That's
wonder
how
where
they
she
did it.
went to school.
That's a good question.
Mandy Jung.
It's always the noisy, outrageous ones getting all the pub and the TV time. It's
Right.
never like the gal that Rook knows who's just trying to teach the kiddos.
The hair in her bun.
Just trying to teach
hair
the
in a
kiddos.
bun, not her bun.
Right. It's got to be your bun.
Just trying to do some good. They get no pub.
Let's come back with Johnny Heidt.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, I know you're not thinking right now about cleaning out your gutters, washing the house, getting the windows cleaned, but you should think about scheduling that for next year. And you can do that with Kahuna. Kahuna, they are the greatest. Kahuna Window Cleaning and Seasonal Services. They will get the job done. It's not that time of year. It's not the season for window cleaning. However, get on their schedule for the spring and you will be sitting pretty. Roof washing, gutter cleaning, house washing, window cleaning. They are fantastic, and we have had GLers tell us that they did an excellent job. The Squeegee Squad does a wonderful job. And remember, it's safe. You don't want to climb up the ladder. And you know what? I'm uneasy. If I get up 6 to 8 feet up, I don't want to do that. Let them do it for you. They specialize in safety. Their ladders are equipped with extra accessories that your typical ladders don't have, such as standoffs, soft rubber grip pads, leg levelers, and their team receives extensive training when they start and weekly safety training as a team. Bottom line, easier and safer to have them do your cleaning when the ladder is needed. Call them at 612-888-5248 or go to kahunawindowcleaning.com to book a cleaning. Mention that you're a GLer. They will waive the trip charge. 612-888-5248, Kahuna Window Cleaning and Seasonal Services.
Here's a man who spends hours in hardware stores, sifting through the nuts
yes,
and
Kenny.
bolts of life.
Oh,
Joe Souchere.
I'm almost ready.
Nice.
There's nothing more fun than making Christmas all about yourself. Get yourself a nice gift. And that's why I'm talking about Moon Motorsports. They've got that motorcycle you've kind of been dreaming about. You know, your wife or your husband or your kids aren't going to buy it for you. Get out there and get it yourself. At Moon Motorsports, you'll experience the best reasons for the season. Number one, end of the year manufacturer incentives at their best. Next year's models are arriving. Stock replenishment, all-time high. In-store selection, amazing right now. The financing, 0 payments for 90 days right now at Moon. And Moon also offering either free winter storage or free in-state delivery for all bike purchases. You got to jam, though. Let's get it done. Stop into Moon Motorsports in Monticello, just a short drive from the Twin Cities. You'll discover the most exciting power sports showroom in the region. You can also see it on the website, moonmotorsports.com. Listen, we're talking KTM, Husqvarna, Polaris, Can-Am, BMW, Triumph, Ducati, Yamaha, Honda, Skidoo, and now Gas. Have you ever seen a trials event where these guys are out climbing boulders and trees and doing the most ridiculous, insane things at 1 or 2 miles per hour on motorcycles?
I have not.
Gas specializes in trials motorcycles. Check it out.
That's the name of the company?
Gas. Yeah.
Gas?
Yeah. They're a very famous and well-known motorcycle manufacturer. 11 brands in one shop, south of 94, west of 25 in Monticello, and on the web, moonmotorsports.com.
Gas is also the nickname I've given Rookie after he eats Mexican food.
Right, or chili.
After John Height's news, I have words from a fellow in St. Paul who has attempted frequently to push back against the problems we enumerate, and he has been rebuffed every time, and you'll find his words interesting.
Oh, okay.
Here's John Heidt.
Thank you, Joe. Before we get to news, of course, we must mention one sports note. Carlos Correa will not be coming back to the
What
Minnesota
the hell?
Twins.
Is he worth that amount of money?
Not to me.
Correa signed a 13-year, $350 million deal with the San Francisco Giants late last night. Correa was the most expensive free agent signing in Twins franchise history. He becomes the highest paid shortstop now in Major League Baseball history. He spent only 1 year, of course, with the Twins, earning $35.1 million. The Twins were engaged in talks with him about a long-term deal, and reports say the Twins offered him a 10-year deal in the $280 million range. Obviously, the Giants' offer kind of blew that offer.
How old is he?
28.
28.
So 28, 38, and 3. He'll be 41 at the end of this.
That's correct.
He won't even be playing shortstop at the end of this. No.
My San Francisco Giant loving brother was very happy though, and texted me at 11:20 at night.
I don't think he's worth that money.
Oh, I do, but not for 13 years. I mean,
How long ago was 6
time.
hours?
6 hours.
That would have been 6:57.
6:57.
Very early in the morning. Let's check in with Steve Mikulski on Facebook. Let me be the first to congratulate the Polad family and the Minnesota Twins on their continued commitment to mediocrity. Your stadium will again be a place where your fans go and stretch out in their seats since it'll only be half full. Great job letting Korea go. And now I'm looking at his profile. It says, okay, he works at CK. Okay, good. University of Wisconsin lacrosse. He made it to Christmas, and he was sitting at our house, my mom and dad, it's after New Year's, like, time to go back to school. He said, they asked me not to come back. But he's got it listed here as is.
Let me ask you, after that, was that a tweet or what
That's
was
on
that?
Facebook.
Facebook. Did Bob like that posting? Was
Bob has
down
not
with
chimed
that?
in yet. Bob has not chimed in yet. I'll have to check in on Bob.
All right, here's John Heidt.
Got it.
Thank you, Joe. In news, the city of Minneapolis is overhauling the way it handles complaints against police officers. The city council voted 7-4 last night to approve an ordinance establishing a community commission on police oversight. 2 council members didn't vote, Andrew Johnson and Lisa Goodman. They left the meeting early. The new Community Commission on Police Oversight will have 15 members serving on review panels of 5 people, each comprised of 3 civilians and 2 sworn members of the Minneapolis Police Department. The commission will look into complaints filed against officers by members of the public. After reviewing those complaints, the members of the review panel will forward their findings and recommendations to the police chief. The chief gets the final say on whether an officer should be disciplined or not. City Council President Andrew Jenkins called the ordinance a good faith effort that can be adjusted if needed. Critics of the ordinance have said the council acted too hastily, should have gotten more community input before bringing it all to a vote. Star Tribune reporting the Minneapolis Public Schools yesterday approved a budget amendment to address rising transportation and food costs, certified the maximum property tax levy, voted to raise the district's debt service level, and approved a universal start time for the city's high schools for next fall. The meeting marked the final one for the current school board. 5 new members will be sworn in next month. District finance leaders repeated their message. Minneapolis Public Schools is headed for a fiscal crisis. And without significant budget changes, the district is on track to run out of money in 2025, according to a 5-year forecast first presented at a finance committee meeting last month. The projection is not meant to prescribe solutions, district leaders said, and no recommendations were made at Tuesday's meeting. Board members voted to increase the tax levy by 4.34% for 2023 and passed an amendment to address rising transportation and food costs. Declining enrollment and the end of federal free lunch waivers, which as part of the pandemic relief to districts allowed schools to distribute free meals to students without verifying their family's income, has drained the district's food service fund, requiring a $5 million transfer from the general fund to fill the gap, according to the budget amendment resolution.
I got a question.
Did you say demanding?
Demanding.
I thought you said demanding in that last sentence.
If food prices are going up and student enrollment is going down, wouldn't that be a wash? In other words, you're not buying more food.
Is this the math question?
You're buying less food. And depending on how much less food you're buying, why would you need more money if you're buying it for fewer students?
Are you getting, for your $10, are you getting less food?
I think I have your answer.
If you're a single mother with 2 children, which is the toughest job in America as far as I'm concerned.
That's right.
And you're working hard to put food on your family.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. A burglar in a witch's costume made off with more than $300,000 worth of jewelry from a kiosk at the Mall of America during a Halloween heist, according to police. Piercing Pagoda on the west side of the mall was burglarized October 31st, Halloween, one day after its indefinite closing. And Bloomington police suspect it was an inside job.
I was going to say.
Police were notified of the burglary 3 days later by a woman who reported that, quote, "Most of my cases are now completely empty." A 51-year-old man has been identified as the primary suspect, that according to charges filed. He has yet, or not charges, I'm sorry, a paper that was filed. The Star Tribune generally does not identify suspects before they're charged. According to the court filing, video surveillance footage revealed to police someone wearing a witch costume with the large hat had gone into the kiosk space with an empty large duffel bag on wheels and left with it full. The suspect then exited the mall, put the bag in a car, and drove off. Police received a list detailing 1,079 pieces of missing jewelry, estimated value $316,813. Officers were alerted the man returned to the mall on December 7th in the same vehicle. The man said he works at the kiosk, was aware of the burglary, but said he didn't have anything to do with it. However, police checked pawn shop records and saw that that same man had pawned 5 items that were stolen during the burglary. Police did search the man's car and seized marijuana in 4 baggies and a jar and vehicle paperwork in his name. It's expected he will be facing charges for all of that.
Did you say $300,000?
$316,813.
And you know he made about $316 at a pawn shop. You don't get anything for that crap.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Have to bring in an expert.
I'm going to have to see if it's real. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a friend of mine.
Where's Chumley? Whoa.
Yeah.
I cannot watch that show.
I've never been able to handle that show. They seem like...
Well, Chumley got in trouble for child stuff, didn't he?
I don't know.
Something weird,
They seem like they would be friends of Angel on Rockford Files.
Kenny, what are we like? Aliens.
Yeah,
on the History
Aliens.
Channel.
That's what we watch.
I like Aliens.
Yep, that's the
I can't
Aliens.
get enough of it.
All of life's mysteries can be answered by one single word:
Aliens.
Aliens.
Yep.
An incoming state legislator is causing some controversy before he even is serving. During a meeting on Sunday conducted by the group Mask Off Minnesota, Republican legislator Walter Hudson compared medical professionals and others who recommend the COVID-19 vaccine to plantation owners who enslaved black people. Just to make sure he wasn't misunderstood, Hudson repeated what he said. He said, "I want to be clear that I mean exactly what I said. It's not a gaffe. You are the equivalent to a plantation owner who enslaved black people and forced them to work for you. If you today, as a medical professional or just a member of the populace, demand that your neighbor take a vaccination to keep you safe." He yesterday was on WCCO radio with Chad Hartman, and he didn't back away from those comments, saying it's 100% what I believe, absolutely to my core. When asked to expand on what he meant by his comments and whether GOP House leaders had talked to him about his comments, he texted, "No one owns anyone else and therefore cannot dictate what they do with their body." Pretty simple. Hudson has drawn some other controversy in the past. On his campaign website, he said a woman's right to abortion should be abolished. During his campaign,
Well,
he
he's
called for-
contradicting himself. He just
Finish.
contradicted himself.
Finish. What were you about to say?
During his campaign, he called for people who travel to other states for abortions to be arrested for murder and companies that help them to be charged with aiding and abetting in murder. There's no comment from GOP House Minority Leader Lisa Demuth.
No, but
for her
he
reaction on the
he
comments.
contradicted himself.
Yeah.
When it comes to the mask, he said, "You have no right to tell me what to do with my body, but if you go get an abortion, I'm going to arrest you." He's
Right.
contradicting himself.
Plus the whole mask thing. You know what I call that, Such? That's hyperbole.
Yep. Or sometimes it's known as hyperbole.
He bit. Yes.
And we're supposed to start wearing them again just in time for Christmas. I guess we're supposed to wear the mask. We're
Weird.
supposed to mask up.
Somebody predicted that on this show.
We're supposed to mask up.
I can't take more COVID arguing.
No.
Seriously.
I know.
And
Sure,
it's just
right.
going to start again. Yesterday, speaking of vaccines, Ron DeSantis said he plans to petition that state Supreme Court to convene a grand jury to investigate any and all wrongdoing with respect to COVID-19 vaccines. The Republican governor, who's often mentioned as a possible presidential candidate, gave no specifics on what wrongdoing the panel would investigate, but suggested it would be in part aimed to jog loose more info from pharmaceutical companies about the vaccines. Once again, speaking of vaccines, a new study by the Commonwealth Fund, which is a health fund, says without vaccines, the U.S. would have seen 4 times more deaths from the pandemic virus, an additional 3 million lives lost, as well as nearly 4 times the hospitalizations, 1.5 times more infections, and an additional $1.5 trillion in medical bills since December of 2020. Okay, no more talk about
No, it's
COVID-19.
very tedious.
Yeah, save that conversation for the dinner table at
And
Christmas.
that list is growing, isn't it, Joe? The list. We've got abortion. You threw weed on there a couple of weeks ago, and now, let's put the COVID thing on there too.
The painted turtle. Rook, are you familiar with the painted turtle?
I'm not.
Okay. They'll be serving up food from the concession stand to people visiting Lake Nokomis in 2023. That announced by the Minneapolis Park and Recs Board. The previous concessions operator was Sandcastle. They had decided not to renew their lease after 10 years of service at the location. The MPRB then requested proposals for a new concessions operator. The painted turtle was selected by the committee among 11 total proposals.
I like turtles.
The Painted Turtle's 5-year lease starts on January 1st, 2023. The people running the Painted Turtle also created Unleashed Hounds and Hops, an indoor and outdoor dog park with a bar and restaurant in Minneapolis.
I ain't eating at no place where they serve dogs.
Huh?
No, I don't think they serve dogs.
They might. The dog's sitting there drooling
bring
on
them
the
a beer?
food. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like a
As a
dog
cuisine,
leg. Yeah, throw something on the grill for me.
No.
Come here, Larry. I got bad news for you, buddy boy.
You're a little too chubby. You should eat so
Gonna
much.
need that back leg for him, buddy.
The Painted Turtle says they will be partnering with Lala Ice Cream and Kramarczuk's Sausage Company for some of their food offerings, as well as local breweries. The concessions are expected to open in late spring or early summer.
And that's at Nokomis, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
GM, General Motors is recalling more than 825,000 SUVs and cars in the U.S. and Canada because the daytime running lights may not turn off when the headlights are on. The recall covered certain 2022 and 23 Cadillac Escalades, Chevrolet Silverados, Chevrolet Suburbans and Tahoes, GMC Sierra 1500s, Yukons, also included Cadillac CT4s and CT5s from the 2020 to 2023 years. GM says in documents posted today by the U.S. safety regulators that daytime running lights that stay on with headlights can cause glare for other drivers, increasing the risk of a crash.
I've noticed that we're really amping up the voltage with our headlights. It's great that you can see an extra 5 feet, but I'm blind now because of
you're one of those. You're one of the people that flash me like it's my fault.
No,
like
I don't flash
like
anybody,
I went out and got a truck that I need the truck with the brightest dims they make.
I bet you did that, Kenny. I bet you did that.
You know,
I'm
actually,
with,
my
Chris on
truck,
this one, sorry.
my truck was manufactured for the Canadian market. You cannot turn the daytime running lights off.
The trouble with the lights on your truck is that the lights are too high up. That's why they blind people like Chris.
That's not a trouble. That's not my problem. It's Chris's problem.
In New Zealand yesterday, get this, passed into law a unique plan to phase out tobacco smoking by imposing a lifetime ban on young people buying cigarettes. The law states that tobacco can't ever be sold to anybody born on or after June 1st,
legal in New Zealand.
2009.
Is dope legal in New Zealand? Brooke's looking it up.
No. It means the minimum age for buying cigarettes will keep going up and up. In theory, somebody trying to buy a pack of cigarettes 50 years from now would need ID to show that they were at least 63 years old. Health officials, though, hope smoking will fade away well before them. They've stated a goal of making New Zealand smoke-free by 2025.
Zero tolerance.
New Zealand legalized medical cannabis in 2018, but recreational cannabis is still illegal following the narrow defeat of a referendum in late 2020.
Why do you insist on continuing with this nonsense that dope, as you call it, is only consumed by smoking? How many times do I have to tell you that people are taking it in alternate forms much more than they are smoking? How many times do I have to tell you that? When is it gonna sink in?
17 times.
The entry below that is weed legal in New Zealand?
You got weed.
You got weed. This law, by the way, does not affect vaping, which has already become more popular than smoking.
And extremely more harmful, isn't it?
Vaping is horrible for your body.
I don't know. I think you can get away with it in public, though, can't you? Because it don't smell like weed.
Not in Russia.
John, what else you got? Will yay or nay it?
No. Well, never mind.
What do you got?
Are we all ready to yay or nay?
Yeah.
Let's see. Hate crimes in Los Angeles. Nope. North Dakota, you can't have TikTok on your phone if you work for the government.
Okay.
And speaking of TikTok, I'm just kidding. I'll leave it be. Sorry, Joe's not in the mood today.
Well, the TikTok is for 7th grade science teachers who are not terribly bright.
But if anyone that you know uses TikTok, you better advise them not to. It's
like Bob?
I've tried.
I got the little girls all around me doing dances on it.
You know, the FBI is telling people not to use this
They're
app.
spying on you. You know that.
Exactly.
Every musician in the world uses TikTok because they use it to promote their stuff. That's one of the reasons, as Joe always says, tell Dylan not to stop. He doesn't want to promote his stuff on TikTok.
Good for him. I support that decision.
Well, but he's on TikTok. He loves TikTok. So
you go down the rabbit hole pretty quick.
What I like is people that say, I got nothing to hide.
Okay.
John, thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
We are, wow.
Bye now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I want your guys.
What if I want to put my will on TikTok?
Well, I don't care if you do or not, but I'm going to tell you, you could put it on the, you could hang it up on a magnet. You could hang it on the.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hang it on a magnet.
Take your will, put her up there, cowboy.
Beautiful.
Trying to set me up for the wrong deal.
Yeah,
here.
I got the wrong list in front of me.
Gator magnetics are available on the Home Depot website. I'm telling you, they're at over 1,000 stores nationwide this week. Here's what you do.
Put your Gator magnets in your will.
Go to GatorMagnetics.com, click on the Home Depot icon, and give them your zip code, and they'll tell you the nearest Home Depot where you can go and see and use and fondle and touch and marvel about Gator Magnetics, the greatest storage invention ever made that gets everything off the floor. These magnets cling to any steel surface, and plus they're inventing a new steel plate that you can put up in your garage and then put the hooks on that. And then you're hanging up the tools, the shovels, the rakes, the sports bags, you name it. And now one of America's largest retailers is carrying this great product that was introduced in Garage Logic and invented by garage logicians. Movable hooks with a patented magnetic technology. They hold up to 25 pounds each. You got to flip a lever to get the magnet off the surface you affix it to, and then you move it around and constantly adjust your storage. Good in the basement, go anywhere in the house. Anywhere. Put one on the icebox.
There you go. That's
All
what
right.
mine is.
That's right. And as I say, now in over 1,000 Home Depot stores throughout the U.S., go to GatorMagnetics.com, find the Home Depot icon, enter your zip code. It'll tell you which Home Depot is closest to you and carrying Gator Magnetics. Really a great invention. GatorMagnetics.com.
My saying that, by the way, got that package sold on Friday, the day I said it.
It's the end of the world as we know it, and he feels fine. Joe Souchere.
GLers, the sun will rise in the west today. And
God forbid we try to
Logic
make it better.
podcast auction is still going strong. One day, by the way. It ends tomorrow, December 15th. And it's the chance for you to bid on items of clients associated with the Garage Logic podcast and other clients. And it's pretty cool. We have a lot of items up, including a number of Fratelloni's hardware and garden store gift cards.
I could really use those.
But someone actually asked Mike.
Oh, wait a minute. I can't use them.
So he has a number of them on there. He has a couple for $250, $100, and $500. And someone asked, well, are they still worth that amount, even though if I get it for less? Yeah, it's a gift card.
That's what you're bidding on.
That's how a gift card works. Yes,
Right.
Kenny.
GLers will be happy to know. You know, I've got a reputation as having the deepest pockets in the state. They will be happy to know that they will not have to compete with me in the bidding for the Minnesota horse and hunt items.
Good.
There's a sporting clays and dinner for $4 and
right.
sporting clays and Sunday brunch for $4. And don't worry, I will not be bidding on
That
that
sounds
stuff.
like something you should wear a blazer to. The brunch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Air
something
Mechanical has a water heater and a furnace available at the auction. Kenny, what were you going to say?
Patches on the elbow for that coat, Joe.
Yeah.
An RF Moeller $4,000 gift certificate is available, and it's going right now for way under value.
I wish I could.
Rise and Shine Garage Doors, a $1,000 gift certificate towards new garage door installation. I'm telling you right now.
Nothing better than having them come out and silence your garage door.
I'm not allowed to bid, but I'm going to have to find somebody to bid on this for me. And I'm not kidding.
Well, it can't be me.
No, it can't be any of you guys.
Certainly won't be me.
Won't be Height.
Escape with Us Vacations. There's a great golf vacation on here. There's a number of things. So here's what you do. Go to garagelogic.com.
Where a golf vacation at?
It's somewhere warm. It's
Okay.
not here.
All
I
right.
can tell you that. Enter the keyword auction. Just hit the little magnifying glass. Enter auction, and it'll pull you right to the page. It's that easy. So just go on there. And this does end tomorrow. So you only have 24 hours, something like that left. So there you go. Garage Logic. Enter the keyword auction at the website.
I was copied on an email that a guy named Bill Hosko sent to the editors of the Minneapolis Star Tribune, NPR, Fox 9 News, a variety of places. Hosko ran for mayor of St. Paul. He's a bit of a gadfly, meaning that he pays a lot of attention, and we should be thankful for that. He walked damn near the entire city during his campaign. He lost handily to Melvin Carter. And he had great thoughts, and he's a pushbacker. And his current email is, please forgive me. Another day in St. Paul, courtesy of our elected officials. St. Paul Mayor Carter, City Council Commissioner Ortega, Senator Pappas, and others. All of you have heard about the 2 dead after shooting at a downtown St. Paul light rail transit station. All of you are culpable. Yes, I will dare say this because it is true. He's talking about on Monday, 2 people shot dead at the Central Station at 5th and Cedar in St. Paul, light rail station. As we also know, for years, every one of you, to a lesser degree, newer council members, has known how to stop this, including you, paper editors and TV media. Every one of you get off your asses, swallow your pride, and start the process to honestly educate the public about the root cause of crime on board and surrounding light rail in St. Paul. Honor system payment for riding light rail. More security will never make these trains safe nor restore the massive drop in use and public trust. It is time to get bids post-haste and start retrofitting each and every one of the light rail station platforms in St. Paul with fences and gates to control access to these platforms. Starting with the highest crime platforms in this city, Central, Union Depot, 10th Street, Rice Street. Do the others over 5 years if need be. It is also time to acknowledge once and for all the fraud which is in fact perpetuated upon the public by Commissioner Ortega and his plans for the Riverview Corridor modern streetcar on West 7th Street. It is in fact another honor system light rail line being planned that could only cause further safety and security harm to St. Paul and its citizens. I understand, Council members Bren, Moan, and Prince, you are not seeking re-election. Good. You've done enough damage here and across the city already. Council member Nelker, as you wait in the wings to replace feckless Mayor Carter, who is only here still because President Biden would not hire him, to his credit, no matter what side of the aisle people are on, you should resign as well. Being this mess and so many others have only grown under your watch and nurture. Same goes with you, Senator Pappas and Commissioner Ortega, smug in your re-elections last month. And further, thanks be that you, Commissioners Carter and McDonough, will be leaving soon for reasons mentioned above. Can there be another city so beleaguered with willful incompetence at so many political levels? No. And it is all largely because the local print editors and TV media program directors have indeed protected you, often slyly for a variety of reasons and at different levels. Well, I take exception to that. I've been ripping the city for 30 years.
You were ahead of the curve.
All of you have the power to largely stop another person from being robbed, beaten, stabbed, or shot or murdered on light rail. Its platforms are within the stair tower, which I warned years ago as well. More on this tomorrow. Would become a crime magnet that we have honor system light rail. But you now actually will and at last do it. As always, I remain available to help you and to help this city. Sincerely, Bill Hosko, perennial candidate per our propagandist Fred Malo at the Pioneer Press, who has called Hosko a perennial candidate, and Hosko took umbrage with that. Hosko is he owns some art galleries in St. Paul. He is committed to the well-being of St. Paul, but you can see by the tone of his email where he has earned his reputation as a gadfly. That personally doesn't bother me. There aren't enough people like Hosko giving people grief, and it didn't get him anywhere. Light rail passenger security events per billion passenger miles, 2014 to 2021. The Twin Cities leads the list with 608 security events. Beating Houston, San Jose, Dallas, L.A., Portland, Buffalo, all the way down the list.
Wow. So by security events, you mean they had
getting shot.
Wow. And wow.
The majority of those who voted in, and this is an older email, but it's germane. The majority of those who voted in yesterday's Ramsey County Board District 5 election, Hosko was not running for mayor this time. He was running for District 5 Ramsey County Commission. And there he walked the entire District 5. I encountered him many times when I was out for a walk. The majority of those who voted in yesterday's Ramsey County Board District 5 election have chosen to stay on the path where we've been. It is not the one I or many others wanted, but this is where we will stay. The specter of crime and antisocial behavior will continue here, particularly within St. Paul. It has been normalized. Leadership protects and makes excuses for perpetrators over victims. They do not foster personal responsibility, but instead foster victimhood, dependency, and grievance. They are not the Democratic Party I once knew, but are socialist-minded instead. I could see this coming many years ago, and is why I became nonpartisan many years ago. Being intellectually weak, they love the power they have to spend large sums of taxpayer money in ways they never would have if it were their own. And it goes on to with regards to the riots in May 2020, they stood silently by and allowed hundreds of businesses to be attacked for 2 nights. With regards to COVID, they punished small businesses while allowing big businesses to make record profits. So many thousands have been negatively impacted by their incompetence, and so many seriously. We have no strong civic or media leadership left here that will call it out. So they become career politicians, rewarding themselves with ever more money while concerned for the poor and the need to create a just community. In the end, that is all it is with them, building dependency, financially rewarding themselves and those they surround themselves with, and working to create a utopian city and county that are not financially viable. And the people who stay here will be required to give ever more of their money to keep it going. The comfort of the rich depends upon an abundant supply of the poor. Voltaire. Yes, we will have some successes, but the overall path here will remain downward with regards to our safety, school system, economy, and regional place of importance. You are expected to applaud their accomplishments and ignore their repeated, predictable, massively costly failings, and more are coming. And you are expected to shun those that don't fall in line. BillHosco.org will remain up for you to see what I had proposed during the campaign and what I may have to say in the coming months. Perhaps the 28-year incumbent, now making $100,000 annually for a part-time job, who refused to debate me and defend his record publicly, and others in leadership positions will approach me and allow me to help them reverse our course, perhaps. Each day I look forward to living. Each day is a gift. I am 60 now, and I'm filled with gratitude for the life I've been able to live. Thank you. Cheers, Bill Costco. And he copied the Ramsey County Board, the St. Paul Mayor, the City Council, and print and television media. He pushed back. He gave it his best, and the machine just ate him up. He didn't get any votes at all.
Yeah, and they ignored that email.
So didn't you just basically answer Tom's email from the beginning of the show?
Pretty much so.
Pretty much. Mm-hmm. Pretty much. It's just a shame. I can save these. I can save that. And I can tell you that they come all the way from Mpumalanga, South Africa, Marloth Park, from the Traveling Lymans. Visit them at worldwidewaftage.com. We only have one note today.
Is it from Faribault?
We'll find out.
Okay.
On this day,
December 14th,
in 1798,
long time ago,
Alexis Bailey was born in Alexis Bailey was born in St. Joseph, Canada. He would precede Henry H. Sibley as an agent for the American Fur Company in Mendota, one of the most influential forces in the fur trade in Minnesota. Bailey was also one of the first settler colonists to grow wheat in Minnesota and a member of the territorial legislature. He died in 1861. That's it. This state did nothing on December 14th.
December 14th, pretty boring, huh? Yeah.
This state did nothing.
Underachievers.
Yeah, no marketing skills
No
whatsoever.
ambition.
No ambition.
That's 24 years we haven't done anything, right?
That's right.
Maybe Laura, maybe my math was bad there, but you know what I mean.
Hey, don't forget Stephen C. Anderson's Cathedral concert this Thursday. It's just going to be fantastic.
Did you seriously say that you don't require a ticket for this?
No, you have to go to Eventbrite. You just don't have to pay.
Oh, that's what you said.
Yeah,
Somebody had emailed me and asked if that was true.
It's at the Cathedral, 7:30 p.m., a larger show this year with singers and other instrumentalists. And he'll be joining us on December 23rd right here in studio, and John Heidt will be in here.
Oh, really? Okay.
With a guitar and an amp, and we'll be doing some jamming.
I told you he'd forget. I
Yeah.
told you.
You've been told this.
Well, no, I've been told the last time it was maybe the 23rd.
Oh, no, it's happening. It's
okay,
happening.
I'll be
It's
there.
happening. But Stephen C. is back for his 6th Christmas at the Cathedral this Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Go to Eventbrite and secure a pasteboard to
Well,
get in.
John, maybe Kenny can pick you up on the way to the studio on Friday.
Like,
You know, if I'm tempted, Chris, seriously, I am,
Oh,
To do what?
to be in studio with you guys.
You're
That's
supposed to be.
the 23rd.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I can make that.
All right.
But I'm tempted.
well, good idea anyway while it lasted.
in spirit.
I did get a note from Stephen C. actually, who said, if we do it, would you like to get together and rehearse a little? I
Yeah.
said, sure, I would love to.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I'll
So
leave that up
maybe
to you two.
We might even know what we're doing there, or I might know what I'm doing. We'll see.
I have one
He
request. Play.
Yeah.
I want you to play "Young Man" or "Old Man" or whatever that Neil Young song is.
It's
I think
it's
Old Man.
December.
Christmas songs, right?
They're
Aren't we?
Christmas songs, Kenny. It's
Yeah, we
December
make it about
23rd.
Christmas. Throw a Noel in
Yeah,
there.
play
Old
some bells in the
man,
background.
Look at my tree.
You look like Santa Claus. I don't know.
Thank you, GLers.
Couple-
Push back.
Couple
Push
of
back,
announcements.
parents.
GLers, sign up for the Garage Logic Town Council in the month of December and receive a free winter hat with your Town Council purchase while supplies last. All Town Council members receive exclusive behind-the-scenes access to 24/7 Garage Logic Stream, window cleaning, member card, invite to exclusive events, and an official certificate signed by the mayor himself. And you can give the gift Give the gift of Garage Logic. Yeah, that's right. Gift giving has never been easier. Give the gift of GL this holiday season with a yearly membership to the Garage Logic Town Council. Send a code to the gift recipient. Sorry, Ross. Instantly, or receive a code at checkout for personalized gift giving. More at garagelogic.com. Click on the Town Council membership banner. And the Garage Logic shop is having its biggest sale in years with t-shirts priced as low as
This is long.
$5. Sweatshirts as low as $11. That's because somebody forgot to read it this
Are
week.
we allowed to bid on that?
Yes, we are. And so much more available at deep discounts.
such a
Check out
bastard.
all the sale items and prices right now at garagelogic.com. That's garagelogic.com.
You didn't get the memo, Chris, but Ross's new name is Muted. He's both on Twitter and his microphone.
Oh.
And speaking of Muted and his microphone, we did the very last Krabby Coffee shop ever today because we came up with an idea so good that it's going to turn the three of us into millionaires.
Really?
Yeah.
So enjoy
Fantastic.
the very last Krabby Coffee shop today. On,
Fantastic.
what is that, Pod MN?
Yes, it is. It's a device you should be downloading to your smartphone where you have the chance to win prizes. And don't forget to subscribe to the Garage Logic YouTube channel where we are posting daily content for your amusement.
So I switched to Boost Mobile and got this free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone.
Why do you think they call it the Galaxy?
Maybe because the Samsung Galaxy A23 has a huge screen, and galaxies are huge gravitationally bound systems of stars rotating around a supermassive black hole.
And the phone is free?
When you switch to Boost Mobile.
Cool. You lost me at gravitationally bound.
Switch to Boost and get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power. Limited time offer while supplies last. New customers only. Excludes tax. One device offer per line. Only available on certain networks. 5G not available everywhere. Additional restrictions apply. See your local Boost Mobile store for details.
At the Home Depot, we're dedicated to helping you build the skills that get your home projects done right. That's why we offer free and interactive online DIY workshops. During the live streams, our knowledgeable associates help you tackle your DIY projects no matter your age or skill level. You can learn how to install new single-pole switches, as well as standard duplex and GFCI outlets. Register for free at homedepot.com/workshops. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.